Hi there, welcome to Thursday's lesson. What we're going to be doing today is some wordy questions, so that's what we're going to start with our starters. We're going to work our way through these, so have a quick look at them. If you reckon you know what you're doing, just bash on, pause the video and come back in a second and check that you're right. Otherwise, stick with me. So, first question. How much change would you get from £20 if you bought a packet of crisps at 59p and 3 bottles of juice at £1.39 each? So, we've kind of got several steps here, haven't we? We've got the 3 lots of £1.39, we've got the 59p, and then we need to use the £20 afterwards. So, let's do this by starting off with a multiplication. We'll work out how much the 3 bottles of juice cost. So we've got £1.39 times 3. So we've got 9 3s are 27. 3 3s are 9, add the 2 makes 11. And 1 3 is 3, add the 1 is 4. Okay, so our juice costs £4.17. So now we're going to add the £4.17 and the 59p. So remember, when we're writing 59p, that's how we need to do it, 0.59, because the £4.17 is written in pounds. So we're going to add those. So 7 and 9 is 16. 1 and 5 is 6, add 1 is 7. Keep your points in a line for adding. And 4 add 0 is 4. So the total for this little bit of shopping comes to £4.76. And we need to find the change from £20. So what we're going to do this time, we could do £20, take away the £4.76 and do loads of borrowing in our subtraction. Or we could look at it another way, and that's what we're going to do this time, just to show you a different way. We're going to start with our £4.76 and look at what we need to add on to that to make £20. Okay, so let's first of all see if we went to the next pound up from £4.76, we'd be at £5. Okay, and then if we went all the way to £20, that would be the next thing. So what we're going to do then is we're just going to work out how much we've added here and how much we've added here, and that'll tell us what the change would need to be. Okay, so from £4.76 up to the next pound along, which is £5. Basically, we're just needing to work out what you need to add to 76 pence to get a pound. Okay, so to make 76 pence up to 80 pence, we'd need 4 pence. And then we're at 80 pence, so we'd need another 20 pence to make it up to that pound. So you'd have to add 24 pence on to £4.76 to make it into £5. Okay, and then to make £5 into £20, we need to add £15. So we can go straight to our answer here, that the change would be £15 from here and 24 pence from there. Okay, so that's our first question done. So the answer is £15.24. That's how much change you'd have from £20. Okay, right, the second question then. We want to see which of these questions gives the answer 2.5. So the way that I would like us to do this is to not guess. Okay, I want us to work out the answers to each of these. So 250 divided by 1,000. Remember, when we're dividing by 1,000, we've got 1, 2, 3 zeros. So we're going to move our digits 3 places to the right. And remember that the decimal point in 250 is at the end there. So if you move 1 place, the 0 would be on the right-hand side of the decimal point. So that would give you 25.0. If you moved it another place, the 5 would be on the right-hand side of the decimal point. So you'd have 2.50 or 2.5. We don't really need the 0 now, do we? Then that's only moving 2 places though. So moving 3 places, moving the extra place, the 2 and the 5 are then on the right-hand side of the decimal point. So 250 divided by 1,000 is 0.25. So it's not that one. Okay, next one. 25 divided by 100, same sort of idea. 25 has the point after it. We're moving 2 places to the right. So moving 1 place would be 2.5, and 2 places, you'd have the 2 and the 5 again to the right of the point. So these two have the same answer of 0.25. Okay, next one, 0.025 times 1,000. So 1, 2, 3 zeros, but we're multiplying this time, so we need to move our digits to the left 3 places. Okay, so moving them 1 place, you've got 0, 0, 2, and 5. Moving 2 places, we've got 0, 0, 2, and 5 there. Remember, the decimal point stays in the same place all the time, so that's moving 2 places to start with, and we need to move another place, so 0, 0, 2, 5, and then the point. So the answer to this one is 25, so that's not right either. So it's fairly predictable that it was going to be the last one anyway. There's no point in me putting the correct answer first, because you'd find it and then not work out the others, of course. So when we do 0.025 times 100, well, we've actually already done it here, haven't we? Because here's our starting number, 0.025, multiplying by 10 gives us 0.25, and multiplying by 100 gives us the 2.5 there. Remember, these 2 zeros are not needed. Okay, so this one is the right answer. That's the one that gives the answer 2.5. Okay, all right, so moving on to today's work. I've got some fairly lengthy questions to look at here. Okay, so first of all, 4 friends go to a restaurant for a meal and agree to split the bill equally between them. The 4 meals cost those 4 amounts there. I don't need to read those out. The friends agree they will add a £10 tip. Okay, how much should each person pay? So what they're going to do, rather than saying my bill only came to this and my bill only came to that, what they're going to do is just stick it all together and aim to pay the same as each other. But when they stick it all together, they're going to add the £10 tip as well. So what we need to do is add all our amounts up. So we're going to have £21.45, £18.47, £20.16, and £22.44. So we're going to add all those numbers up. So if you want to pause this and do it yourself, that's fine, or and then fast forward through me doing it, that's fine, don't mind, whatever suits you. Okay, so adding these up, we've got on the right hand side, 5 and 7 makes 12, 18, 22. Then we've got 4, 8, 9, 13, 15. Then here we've got 1, that's 9, 11, 12. And then last column, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. So altogether, the 4 friends' bills come to £82.52. But they've agreed that they're going to add a £10 tip to that. So adding £10 onto £82.52 is going to give us £92.52. Oops. Excuse me. 92.52, and that's now the total of the bill. So we need to divide that by 4 to work out how much each of these friends is going to pay. So £92.52 divided by 4. So we're going to do 4 into 9 goes twice, remainder 1. 4 into 12 goes 3 times exactly. Remember to keep your decimal points in line. 4 into 5 goes 1, remainder 1. And then 4 into 12 goes 3 times. Okay, so the answer to how much should each person pay is £23.13. And remember, we don't put the pence on the end because it doesn't make sense. This is an amount of pounds. Okay, so then we're going to move on to our next part of our question. So I'll just keep that there actually so we can see our working. We might need that. Right, so 2 people have the correct money with them. Each has a £20 note and some change. The third person only has £10 notes and no change. Is there enough change for the third person to take if they put in £30? Okay, so these first 2 people have put in their £20 note and change. So remember, each person is paying £23.13. So each of these first 2 people have put in £20 and £3.13 in change. Okay, so the £3.13 that's the change amount there that they're putting in. Okay, so 2 of them are putting in £3.13 in change. Okay, so £3.13, if you double that, oops. So when we're doubling, we can either times by 2 or we can just add 2 of them together. Or we can just do it in our heads, it's £6.26. Okay, so that's how much change there is at the moment on the table when these first 2 people have put in their £20 and their £3.13. Okay, now the third person only has £10 notes and no change. So, bearing in mind that they need to be paying £23.13, let's see how much change they should get. So £30, take away the £23.13. Let's see what we get there. So let's do this with the borrowing, because the other time when we worked out the change earlier, we did it by adding on. So remember, when you're borrowing, so you can't do 0 take away 3. If you've got none, you can't take 3 away. So we need to borrow, but they haven't got any. They haven't got any. So this column of people here, this house, has to borrow from that house. Okay? So this one gives to that one. That one gives to that one. That one gives to that one. So now 10 take away 3 is 7. 9 take away 1 is 8. 9 take away 3 is 6. And 2 take away 2 is nothing. So the change that person 3 needs is £6.87. But there's only £6.26 on the table. So the answer to that question is no, there is not enough change. Person 3 needs £6.87 and there is only £6.26. So that's a proper nice explanation of that. Okay, so let's look at the next part of the question. So, leave that where you can see it. So the third person takes what change there is. Okay, so the third person puts in £30 and they take out £6.26. Okay, so the difference, the answer to this is how much the third person has paid. Okay, and then the fourth person pays the rest of the bill by credit card. How much do they pay? Okay, so let's have a think. There's a couple of different ways of doing that. So if you want to do it yourself, just pause it and work it out. Like I say, there's not only one way of doing this. So let's have a little think about what we've got. We can work out what 30 take away £6.26 is. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I'm just going to speed through this and tell you that it's £23.74. Okay, you know how to do your subtractions just now, and we did one there anyway a minute ago. Okay, so the third person has paid £23.74. Okay, the fourth person has to make the bill up to the full amount. Okay, so what we can do is we can work out the difference between £23.74 and the £23.13. and that will give us 61 pence. Okay, so person 3 has paid 61 pence more than they needed to. So person 4 has got 61 pence less to pay than they would have had otherwise. And remember, the amount was £23.13. So we can do £23.13, take away the 61p. So that'll give us 2, then a bit of borrowing. 11 take away 6 is 5, 2 take away nothing is 2, and 2 take away nothing is 2. So the 4th person needs to put £22.52 on their credit card. The other thing we could have done, we could have added up 2 lots of £23.13, £23.13, because that's how much the first 2 people paid. The 3rd person paid £23.74, even though they were trying to split it evenly. So if you add those 3 amounts up, and then you could subtract those 3 amounts from the total of £92.52, and that will give you the same amount as we've just found. Okay, so with wordy questions, particularly with money and adding and subtracting, there's often more than one way of doing it. Okay, so that's that question. Then we're going to move on and have a look at one more question today. Again, sticking with money. So for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing work on money, and we're going to look at things like wages, foreign currency, buying things where you're paying weekly or monthly rather than paying all in one go. So that's all to come. So I wanted to stay away from that for today. So we're going to look at a happy situation, which hopefully we might be in next year. It's not looking likely for this year, is it? So Chris decides to book a family holiday for next year, as there's a special offer where children under the age of 12 can book flights at half the adult price, and children under 5 are entitled to free accommodation. Okay, so we've got the costs here, where the flights, an adult flight cost is £215. Okay, and adults and children for the accommodation, that means where you stay, they pay £52 per person per night. So every person, every night, has to pay £52, except the under 5s go free. So we're going to work out how much will a 7-night holiday cost Chris and his 3 children who are aged 3, 11 and 12. Okay, so we've got 2 different aspects to this, haven't we? We've got the flights and we've got the accommodation. So let's look at the flights first. So the normal flight cost is £215. And the special offer here is where children under the age of 12 can book flights at half the adult price. Okay, so let's look who's going. We've got Chris, who's an adult, and then we've got children aged 3, 11 and 12. Okay, so children under the age of 12 can book flights at half the adult price. So this one here is not under the age of 12 because they are 12. So it doesn't say 12 and under, it says under 12. So they have to pay the adult price. So Chris's is £215. So is the 12-year-old's. But the 3-year-old and the 11-year-old can book their flights at half the adult price. So we can actually save ourselves a bit of work here. We can work out half of half of 215 and then double it because we've got 2 children. But if you halve something and double it, then you're ending back just where you started, aren't you? Because halving and doubling are opposites of each other. So if we halve £215 for each of these children and then added those amounts together, we're going to get £215, aren't we? So altogether, the flights are going to cost 3 lots of £215, And when we add all that up, or when we do in our heads 215 divided by 3, we're going to get £645. Okay, so the total for the flights for the family is £645. Let's look at the accommodation now. So, a bit more to work out in this one. So, adults and children pay £52 per person per night, but the under fives are free. So, in this case, we don't need to worry about the 3-year-old because they're not going to cost anything for the accommodation, but adults and children cost £52 each per night. Okay, so there's Chris and these two children. So there's 3 people paying £52 per person per night. So it's 3 people. Okay, so there's 7 nights and it's £52 each. So let's do 52 times 3 to start with, because that's going to tell us how much it costs per night. Okay, so 2 3s are 6, 5 3s are 15. So the cost per night for the family is £156, but they're staying 7 nights. So now we need to do 156 times 7. So 6 7s are 42, 5 7s are 35, add the 4 makes 39, and then 1 7 is 7, add 3 is 10. So this is the total for the accommodation, because that's £52 for each of Chris and his 2 older children. So there's the 3 people. So that's per night, and the 7 nights, so we need to do that times 7. Okay, so now we've found out that the flights total is £645. The accommodation total is £1,092. So now we need to add those 2 numbers together. To give us 7, 13, 7 and 1. So the grand total, the big answer for the whole thing, is £1,737. Okay, it's a lot of money, isn't it? So this question, I wanted us to do one that was based on money, but that we needed to really think around it and that had lots of steps to it. So we haven't had to worry in this question about any decimal places, because we were dealing with whole pounds, but we've still got to work our way through all this language that we've got here and understand what this means and work out actually what it is we're supposed to be finding. Okay, so I'll give you some work to do yourselves, and I'll put the answers for them tomorrow. The work isn't going to be as tricky as this. If you found any of this a bit difficult, go back through it, watch it again, pause it, work it out, show it to somebody at home if that would help, and see if you can explain it to them, because that's a really good way of making sure you understand it yourself. It's not asking somebody to explain it to you, but you try and explain it to them. And often just saying something out loud can really sort it out in your own head. Okay, anyway, I will see you tomorrow. So good luck with all this.